following is a presentation of Main Street Media, your source for news, sports, and information on Main Street in Middle Tennessee. And welcome into a hump day edition of Main Street Sports. Today on the program, our regular visit with Heather Williams from the great eastern part of the state, Bristol, WCYB TV, talking a little NASCAR. We got some race happening in our neck of the woods. We'll chat about the Ally 400 coming up at the Nashville Super Speedway. Also, new Columbia Academy basketball coach JARRETT Jones will be joining us today, so stay tuned for that. Men's College World Series, we've got bracket finals coming up tonight. We're whittling down the SEC Invitational in Omaha, so stay tuned for conversations on that. Braves chatter. Plus, it's Wild and Wacky Wednesday. You could argue every day is wild and wacky here on Main Street Sports today. We got the Hall of Famer, soon to be recognized, coming up in a short amount of few days. Mo Patton in a blue shirt today. Light blue. Is that a Centennial baby blue?
It could be. It's not a Centennial shirt per se, but I mean it
could go for that.
Yeah, it could be a little CCCHS.
CCHS.
Yeah.
And
As
then
you see here.
That's right. And then the Sundrop kid from Alabama, one Chris Yao. The nice orange get up today.
Orange checks.
Yeah, the orange check, the gingham.
Kind of a muted orange there.
Little gingham.
Yeah.
Not bad. How you doing today, fellas?
It's been
AC's working, so I'm happy.
It feels good in here.
Yeah.
It feels good in here. I will say that. It's been a pretty good day. Other than the fact that I made 2 phone calls this morning trying, for the other part of my job, the news side, and finally got a call back at 1:39 from one of them. Still haven't heard from the other. So it's, that's kind of been frustrating, but hey, it is what it is. We move on because we talk sports from 2 to 3:30, and that's what we're going to do now. Looking forward to it. It's, got a chance to go to Spring Hill and have some panda for lunch today because Sarah really wanted noodles. So that's what we got. And they have Panda has a new peppered Black Angus steak meat.
Peppered Black Angus steak.
Yeah, it's just, just with their pepper seasoning or whatever.
Uh-huh.
But it's got broccoli and mushrooms in it.
Okay.
And it's really good.
I could go with that. Mo, are one of those
He's not a mushroom guy.
Mushroom. I knew there was one of those that he was not a fan of.
Not a mushroom.
Yeah, that's more for me. I like it.
We went yesterday to Big Shakes up in Franklin, and they serve pickles with everything. And so
I missed out.
Yeah, well,
the extra pickles.
You'd have had to fight Jody.
Oh, that's right. That's right. We had that conversation once.
Yeah. So I mean, I just stuck the plate in front of her and take the pickles, get them off before they taint my fish. Was my comment actually. So
pickles can do that.
I mean, if you get pickle juice on another food and you're not a fan,
a fan,
you know it.
Do either of you
looking at you, Chick-fil-A?
Do either of you completely separate your food when you're at like a potluck or like a Sunday dinner?
You can't.
There's typically not room on my plate.
Exactly.
Okay.
You can't.
Yeah. So you're okay with a little cross
as long as it's food as I like.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like
the beauty of a potluck or a Sunday dinner, you're going to only put on what you like.
Exactly. Yeah. Unless
ding ding ding.
Unless there's that one dish that like your mom or your grandma makes, and you feel that really.
You don't want to know who's standing there at the buffet table.
You don't want to. You ain't gonna get
none of my whatever. Exactly. So you got to get a spoonful that you're gonna throw away later.
Or maybe your better half likes it. Just quickly when you get to the table.
Right.
Yeah.
that is 100% how.
Gotta read the room. Always read the room.
We've been talking better halves for a minute this afternoon.
We have.
Yeah.
That's one way to
It's-
phrase it. Better halves, yeah.
That is so true though. You got you at the potluck. You got to be careful. Who is watching you put stuff on your plate? Just remember that. That is a pro tip from us here at Main Street Sports Today.
Who have
for free?
for free.
That's a for
Yeah.
free tip.
Eyes in the back of your plate.
Take that one.
And trust us.
Listen to me now and believe me later.
There you go. Oh man, what a great show we got headed your way. And first and foremost, we need to get some scores and schedules out of the way. So we'll send it back to JP over in the corner.
Hey,
with a
no.
rundown.
Nobody.
know.
Nobody.
Nobody.
Put the JP in a
He
corner.
put himself
Nobody.
there.
I did. What is today? Wednesday?
It is.
It is Wednesday. All right. Let me.
You were the one that said hump day.
That was a long time ago, Mo. All right, let me do that, and we'll look at our rundown. Yesterday's score, that would be Tuesday, Major League Baseball. The Dodgers over the Reds, 8-2. The Pirates, 7-1 winners over the Cubs. The Giants, 12-10 over the Braves yesterday, and the Cardinals, 6-2 over the Brewers. The Sounds get a win over Gwinnett last night in their series opener at First Horizon, 4-1 over Gwinnett. True Blue Night, too, last night.
It was.
We heard from Chip yesterday and had quite the caravan or the carpool driving up I-24 last night. So I'm anxious to hear how that went with Chip's visit next week. Men's College World Series yesterday, elimination game. Arkansas took it to the Tigers of Auburn, 11-1. I guess good news, Nabias gets to go home. Maybe good news. I don't know. He may like it in Omaha.
Omaha's fun.
Yeah,
It's
and he
actually
was. I didn't realize. I heard him talk about he was in Corvallis too.
Yeah, so he may be ready to get
He
home.
may be ready to get home. And then the nightcap, a second elimination game. Texas A&M 5-1 over Notre Dame. So Arkansas and Texas A&M advance and are still alive. Auburn, Notre Dame. Speaking of going home. Today's schedule, Dodgers, Reds, 5:40. First pitch, Cubs at the Pirates at 6:05. At 6:20 on Valley Sports Southeast. It's the Giants, the Braves, Cardinals, the Brewers around 7:10 tonight. And the Sounds continue their series against Gwinnett, 7:05. You can hear the gentle tones of Jeff Him on 94.9 ESPN Radio. Check it out. Men's College World Series tonight, actually this afternoon, happening now. Oklahoma, Texas A&M. These are bracket finals. All four of these teams, no, they're not all undefeated. Oklahoma's undefeated. A&M has a loss. It's at 1 o'clock today. Arkansas and Ole Miss tonight. Ole Miss, the undefeated team. So
And
Arkansas will have to win twice.
Oklahoma is beating the brakes off of A&M right now in the bottom of the third, 4-0 Sooners.
They are hot.
They really are.
I mean,
they're going to win this thing.
I can't see anything other than an Oklahoma Ole Miss World Series matchup with the way those two teams are playing, and I'm okay with it.
I don't think you can ever count Arkansas out.
That's true.
man.
That's true.
So,
All right. So NHL Stanley Cup Final Game 4, pivotal Game 4 tonight in Tampa Bay on ABC, 7 o'clock. Colorado, reminding you, leads that series 2-1. WNBA action, 6 o'clock tonight on the Deuce. It is New York traveling up to Connecticut. Again, 6 o'clock tonight on the Deuce. And that is your rundown on this Wednesday. Space available if you'd like to participate.
There is, in fact, a couple of spaces available. So, top story, our puck drop this Wednesday. Last night was Meltdown City in Music City, as every single media personality expressed their very worthy objections to Roman Josi finishing second in voting for the Norris Trophy, which is awarded annually to the National Hockey League's best defender. Well, understandably so, because Roman Josi scored the most points by a defender since 1993 and was completely left off the top 5 of one ballot.
received 6 more first place
6.
votes in the balloting than
6.
whoever won it.
McCarr is his last name. Connor
Connor, I believe.
Connor
so.
McCarr.
But like you said, 17 third-place votes and was left off of
ish.
And you vote for the top 5. He was left off of somebody's ballot, which
is inexcusable. Period. You're telling me that Roman Josi
wasn't one of the top 5
scored
defensemen.
The 17th most points in the history of the NFL by a defender. NHL by a defender, and is not one of the best 5 this year. Okay. I'm not. Look, it is what it is, and that's great. Connor McCart, a fantastic season, still having a fantastic season as he is.
And maybe that's the key.
That could be it, but it can't be because Roman Josi still had 6 more first place votes. The difference in the voting are the 3 fourth place votes, which is almost as inexcusable as leaving him off, and then the one that left him off. You can't tell me that he's not one of the top 2 or 3 at the worst top 3 best defenders in the league this year. So whatever, it is what it is. UC Saros finished 3rd in Vesna. So
the numbers that he put up, for one thing, the number of times that he stepped between the pipes this year for the Predators was pretty amazing. We talked about that, I guess. Was it last? I guess it was last week that we talked about how Saros probably got overused, but the results for the most part were pretty solid, and as a result, you see that 3rd place finish for the top goalie in the league. So kudos to him. Hopefully he won't have to work as hard this coming season.
Perhaps not. All right, let's take a quick break. When we return, it's Heather Williams, WCYB TV, talking a little NASCAR. So stick around. Main Street Sports Day, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint, is back after this. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck, yes, that'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Tennessee, because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
Just getting started here on Main Street Sports Today. Coming up on the program around 3 o'clock Central Time, it'll be Jarrett Jones, Columbia Academy basketball coach, so stay tuned for that. Also, a little College World Series and Wild and Wacky. Always a good time on a Wednesday. We got a big race, though, coming up this weekend. And we've talked a lot about it, but we haven't heard the definitive. We haven't got our picking with Heather yet, so I'm anxious to see who she goes with today. We'll get that coming up, gentlemen.
Yes, we will. Yes, we will. Welcome back in. Main Street Sports Day is presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Thank you to our friends over at Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint for all of their hard work and support of the show. Looking forward to Sunday, the entire weekend, as I told you. Our former NASCAR guru, T. Willie, is out in Gladeville setting up his campsite, and I know a lot of folks are. So it's getting that time. So I'm curious when one Heather Williams will be making her way to the Middle Tennessee area. Heather, what's going on? How are you?
I'm good. I'm only coming up on Sunday for the Cup Series race. I'm staying overnight Sunday, and I will not be camping. I'm not a camper.
We are glampers, right? If I'm camping, there's air conditioning. It's an RV, and I'm not doing very much of anything other than that.
Yeah, I'm like a 5-star hotel type gal.
Yeah, there will be no camping for sure.
Yeah.
I'm with you there.
I can relate. My next camping experience will be my first camping experience, and I'm just fine keeping it that way.
It's hot. The ground is hard. There's bugs. I ain't got time for any of that. None of it.
None of it. I camped a lot as a kid. I usually came back covered in mosquito bites. Yeah, I'm good.
Those people that don't get bit by mosquitoes annoy me.
Yes.
Certain blood types don't get bit, and I'm just like, I hate you. I'm sorry, I hate you. If you have that blood type, I don't like you. We're not friends.
Anyway, on the track, Heather, obviously coming back to Nashville for the second time around, a lot of folks are excited about that. We're expecting, huge crowds all 3 nights or all 3 days. What is it that you're looking for out of Sunday as you're coming down here?
The biggest thing I want to see is how the next gen car is going to perform on this track. We don't run a lot of concrete tracks in NASCAR, and the way that track is set up, it's pretty bumpy. My crew chief friend that I do my show with every week told me, the way these next gen cars are built, the bottom being smooth, it's very important to not be constantly hitting the ground. So I'll be interested to see, how these cars perform and if they can hold up to the surface and the wear and tear that is Nashville. But I expect a really good race. This size racetrack has been very good for the next gen cars. The short track, which everybody thought was going to be the best for it, hasn't been. It's been the bigger track. So I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be a really good race. All 3 days, I think it'll be a good race, but I think the Cup race will be really good.
That's one of the things I wanted to talk about is how bumpy this track is, because one of the things that we've seen trouble with all year are our tires, and this is a track that's going to wear out some tires, and if you don't get that lug nut on, you're going to see some loose wheels flying around Nashville. So
yeah, tire management's going to be important. I mean, it's going to be a big part of this, but also just, I think it's going to be harder for teams to cheat on the tire pressure because what I mentioned about how bumpy the track is and not hitting that undercarriage of the race car and grounding on the track. So I don't think teams will risk it with tire pressures, but I don't know that for sure because there's always going to be somebody that's going to try it. Maybe they'll get away with it. Maybe they won't.
Coming off of a random off week, it's
the
so
one
weird to not do what?
The one off week this year.
And to not race on Father's Day, that's just should be blasphemy, but it's the way the schedule fell. did teams have a little bit extra time to prepare? How much impact will that have, the extra time they did have to prepare?
Yeah, I think it's more important for them from the aspect of getting caught up on for future races. There's been such an issue with the supply chain and getting cars prepped, and there's been no off time, there's been no downtime. So this was really a good time for teams to take a breath, get their backup cars maybe fixed back up the way they want it. You know, especially if they've had to use it to get spare parts and pieces in and put into their haulers and caught up in that aspect. I'm sure that the drivers, most of them probably took vacation. There were probably a few drivers, especially younger guys, that probably took advantage of the off week for maybe some extra simulator time. But I think the biggest thing is for the teams just to get caught up. It's been such a crazy year, and parts and pieces and all that stuff's been so scarce. So the opportunity to kind of have an extra week to get that kind of stuff, the backup stuff prepared, was probably huge for these teams.
Speaking with Heather Williams of WCYB TV out of the Tri-Cities here on Main Street Sports Today, getting some thoughts on the upcoming NASCAR weekend here in Nashville, more specifically in Gladeville. And Heather, we talked a little last week about the Trackhouse Racing team, as we mentioned, a team that's kind of near and dear to us because we've had Ty Norris on and we've not had anybody from any other team on. So it's, you know, we're Trackhouse fans, but.
And are penciled to have Ty on again Friday at 3:00. So
Penciled.
Yeah.
But looks like Suarez is going to be running the Tootsie's Orchid Lounge number 99 on Sunday.
Yeah, he's run this keep a few other times, including at the Daytona 500. It's a good-looking car. It is. It's pink. You can't miss it. It's got Tootsie's Big and Proud on the hood, and it's a good-looking race car. When I saw that on the roll out into the pits at Daytona, I was like, I like that car. It looks really good.
Well, and it could look good in the winner's circle coming off of his win a couple of weeks ago out at Sonoma. So obviously this track is going to run a little different than the road race type situation that he came up on out there. But you know, this team has got 3 wins this year. As a first-year team, I guess. I mean, that's technically, yeah.
Well, the 99 team was around last year, Daniel Suarez. It's the first year for the one team with Ross Chastain. And the one team was really a Chip Ganassi team. So it's a relatively young team, but it's not as brand new even as like 2311 is, because they had a little bit of head start acquiring all of the equipment from Chip Ganassi Racing. So, but the way they're performing is far beyond what Chip Ganassi Racing has done in recent years. So I think the drivers, Ty's influence, Justin Marks' influence on the team definitely has made a huge difference. And what they're doing is impressive. Even as a second-year team, to get this good this quick is almost unprecedented. So kudos to them. They're doing amazing work.
And it feels like, you know, I was looking at the Jenna Fryer column earlier this week. They want to kind of position themselves as Nashville's NASCAR team. So are they kind of the hometown favorite this weekend?
Oh, for sure. For sure. I mean, Justin's from Nashville. Obviously, Ty's got his connections. I mean, they definitely they do a lot of their events. They actually unveiled that Tootsie's car last year during the NASCAR awards banquet week in front of Tootsie's Lounge. So, I mean, they're a Nashville team. Their headquarters obviously in Mooresville because that's where everybody's headquarters are. But they definitely do a lot of events and a lot of things on Broadway and connected with Nashville. Which is kind of cool, you know. I mean, I don't think every team should have to be connected to Charlotte. We have a race team that's based here in the Bristol area, and I love it. I mean, to have that kind of connection in towns, I wish there was more of that.
And it seems, again, according to this column by Associated Press NASCAR writer Jenna Fryer, Trackhouse is
one of the best in the business.
Yeah. Trackhouse is going to host an hour of live pit stops on Thursday in front of Tootsie's.
Oh, that's why he told us Thursday was definitely out. Guess we know why now. He'll be at Tootsie's Orchid Lounge.
I mean, and how cool is that? I mean,
That's
what
so
an
cool.
amazing thing to bring that to people that maybe don't understand how a pit stop works, have never seen one up close, maybe not even a NASCAR fan. I mean, to see this huge stock car in front of Tootsie's and people pulling tires on and off and running around the car and seeing what great athletes they are. I mean, that's amazing. That's what a cool thing that they're doing. I love everything about this team. I love their drivers. I think they have two of the more talented and marketable up and coming drivers in the garage area. I think that, the management team has done everything right. They have the possibility to be the next Hendrick or Gibbs. They're almost there now. I don't see why they can't get there. And for them to have a Nashville tie, I mean, makes it even better for you all in that area for sure.
Wouldn't it be far more entertaining if throughout the hour they had to go into Tootsie's, get around, come back out? Far more entertaining.
And change some tires.
Change some tires.
That's like,
As long as
just
they don't
like
have
taking
to
the
back up
bat.
the car, that could be dangerous.
Yeah, Heather, that's like taking the bat race. Put your head down, do the spin thing, and then go try to. That's what that would be like.
Don't do that.
It'd be fantastic.
It's far more entertaining. No, I wanted to get your opinion on something completely different. So before we do that, I want to get your thoughts on the race, get your pick, because obviously I think Kyle Larson won this race last year, which he won every race last year, it feels like. So who's the favorite this weekend for you?
So I think when you look at this track, you have to look at a couple of tracks for background, because there's really not a track exactly like Nashville. Dover is probably the closest to Nashville, but I think you also have to look, because of what you mentioned with tire management, at guys that are good at Darlington. And I think also because of being concrete, you also have to look at guys that get around Bristol pretty well. So I think when you're looking at those kind of drivers, generally they're veteran drivers. So then you start going into the Kyle Busch, Martin Truex Jr., Kevin Harvick kind of pocket. Of those three teams, the team that's running the best right now, to me, is probably Kyle Busch. So if I was looking for a guy this weekend, I would probably lean towards probably Kyle Busch.
I'm
Boo
sure
that man.
I'm sure everyone in Nashville will love the possibility of Kyle Busch being in the winner's circle Sunday.
He's very popular. Is that
yeah,
the right word?
Yeah, that's the right word.
popular,
Yeah,
all right.
Infamous Kyle Busch,
Yes.
maybe.
I did want to get your thoughts on something really quick. Richmond Raceway has a new president, and Lori Collier-Warren, I assume is how you say this name. And I'm curious if you have, I know obviously being close to Virginia, if you have any insight on her, because she's the first female president of Richmond Raceway, and I'm curious how much of an impact she's going to have. If you have any thoughts or insights, I don't know if you know her or anything about her, but I just thought it was really cool that Richmond, for the first time in 76 years, will have a female president, and she seems to be deeply rooted in Richmond Raceway.
Yeah, she's deeply rooted in Richmond, maybe not so much in the racing aspect of it. She's kind of an out of the box kind of hire for them. She's more of a marketing type person than a NASCAR person per se. I'm not particularly familiar with her, just what I've read online, but I love it. I mean, I love the hire. The president and general manager of Sonoma is also a female. I had a chance to talk to her before the Sonoma race. She's fascinating. She's been around the sport forever. Just like on the track and in the pits and in the garage area, I mean, I think it's important for all sports, not just racing, to have people in positions that look like they're fans. And there are female fans, and there should be female executives, there should be female race cars, there should be drivers, pit crew members, all of those things. So I think it's a great hire. I think it's good for the sport that they are willing to see and to hire females and trust in them that they can get the job done. I think that just like the other things we talked about with whether it's Daniel Suarez or Bubba Wallace or whoever, I think all of that's important for the growth of the sport.
No question. She said that she used to help her grandfather park cars at Richmond Speedway and would do it barefoot in the summer. She's like, I'm sure that's definitely illegal now. That's pretty cool. So yeah, a lot of great things happening in NASCAR these days, including the return to Nashville for year number 2 as the Ally 400 takes place 4:00 on NBC, and you can hear it on MRN if you are listening. Nothing like listening to a race. There really is. I really enjoy listening to NASCAR. It's the weirdest thing, but I love it.
Sometimes when I listen to a race and then I go back and watch part of it, I'm like, wow, this race wasn't nearly as exciting as it sounded on the radio.
the radio always makes races sound far more exciting. I don't know how they do it, but they do. So if you want to listen to it, you can on MRN. Heather, thanks so much. We appreciate it. We'll talk to you and get your firsthand experience from this weekend next week.
Yeah, look forward to it. See you guys.
When we come back, we'll talk a little college baseball. Men's College World Series continues, and we'll get into it. So stick around. Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint, is back after this. Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, a look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in Tennessee. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the TSSAA.
Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Maury County schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net. Welcome back in. Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint. Chris Yao, Mo Patton, JP Plant here. Coming to you from Columbia, down here in Maury County, but coming to you across Middle Tennessee on Main Street media platforms. And cannot wait for July 11th, Mo, when we make our boob tube debut.
Yeah. We're going to be on TV.
We are.
And I'm not sure how I feel about it, but I'm glad you're excited.
Well, I created a Roku channel once and then created a lot of content for said Roku channel. So, it's not my first rodeo. But it is going to be interesting because you'll be able to see 24/7 content from Main Street Media. Now, what that content is, who knows?
Well, it's basically just taking all the stuff that we're doing. We're going to hopefully add some more, but it'll put it in one place. And so people can go find it maybe more simpler.
Making it a bit more convenient to consume.
Yes.
Yeah.
Going out to the masses.
If you have a smart TV, a Roku device, a Fire Stick, Apple TV box, any of those type assets, you can, starting July 11th, you'll be able to download a Main Street Media app to your television or smart stick,
just like things like Paramount Plus, Showtime. I mean, just like any of those apps that you go search for apps, and you go search for Main Street Media, and hopefully we'll be there.
We will have live content on 24/7 on the app, we will also have.
It'll be
on-
live 24/7. It won't be live content.
Right.
Want to make sure that distinction.
Sure.
Yes.
But also on demand.
Yeah, we won't be broadcasting anything live at 2:00 in the morning.
No.
We'll be looking
Well,
for it.
You never know.
Depends on who gets control of it.
Okay, let me rephrase that. I won't be broadcasting anything live.
Yow after dark.
You never know. I may be changing tires in front of Tootsie's at 2:00.
See, there you go.
I've had to change a tire or two on Broadway, but it wasn't for fun. No, seriously though, and JP, correct me if I'm wrong. There's a mobile app that will also go along with this that we're aware of.
There will be one accompanying it. We're hoping to pair it with that launch, but you know how technology is. So, but yes, eventually there will be a mobile app that basically will mimic that app. The mobile app will also have some features your typical mobile app will have as well, so you can get to
push
other stuff.
notifications, etc.
Yeah, it'll have all that stuff.
Will Main Street's print publications
I believe
be
links
on that mobile app as well?
I believe so. I believe it is going to be the proverbial one-stop shop.
Nice.
The general store for Main Street Media, I believe, will be that mobile app. So that's the goal.
It's going to be it's really going to be
It's going to be pretty cool.
Fantastic for anybody who wants to consume the content that we are putting out on Main Street, which is phenomenal from Portland to here, from Dixon to Lebanon. I mean, you can't not love that. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Looking forward to it. Also looking forward to the College World Series bracket finals. It looks like it's like Texas A&M forgot to show up, but understandably, because Oklahoma has been running roughshod through this tournament.
Now, A&M played yesterday, though, right?
They've played 2 days in a row. This is their third day in a row that they're playing.
This is their third straight day of
Third
playing
straight day.
in this heat. Probably burned through some pitching.
Yep.
It's not a good situation.
That's if you end up in the losers bracket in Omaha, it's almost a death sentence. Almost. Not all the time. But because of the pitching you have to use to get back there.
And the scheduling, because like you said, they've played 3 straight days. This is their third straight.
And even if, if the team that has come out of that losers bracket wins today,
they got to play tomorrow.
A 4th game. And burn even more arms before you get to the championship series on Saturday.
It's Saturday, Sunday, Monday?
Yes, correct. Because, the NCAA and their Monday championship games are nothing goes better like peanut butter jelly and the NCAA and Monday championship games.
But, I mean, look at the schedule, though. What's your alternative? Started a day earlier. Well, you had some Saturday, Sunday, you had some Monday game 3s in the super regionals.
Sure.
You would have had to have started on, Wednesday?
Yeah.
Because they started Thursday, so.
Yeah, I'm just saying that's what they do.
You like to scapegoat the NCAA, and it's okay. But sometimes, every now and then, it's not necessarily that they get it right. It's just they're making the best of a unwieldy situation.
They determine the scheduling from the start of the regionals. They can start the regionals a day early if they need to.
I was updating the scores. Let me make sure you're on the right track here. Is it the championship series that you have a problem with being in the middle of the week?
No, he has a problem with game 3 being on Monday, if necessary.
Gotcha.
Which
should be on Sunday, potentially. I don't really have a problem with it at all. I'm just saying that's what the NCAA does.
You would prefer to have those games finish up on the weekend.
I'm talking about super regionals now.
No,
the championship series
is Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
Oh, it's coming up this Saturday, so they're waiting. Okay.
Yeah.
It used to be the middle of the week.
They skip a day.
Okay.
It may have been. It may very well have been. Used to be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
It was in the middle of the week, and it was like the only thing going on.
Like softball.
But it was at night. It was prime time.
Oh yeah.
And I'm sure Mondays would be prime time as well. Again, I don't have an issue with it. I'm just saying that it's of course it's on the deciding game is on Monday because that's what the NCAA does. It's perfectly fine. It's like, whatever.
Well,
seems like you could have it on a better day, but
what day would you have it on?
Sunday, I would finish up because game 2 would be Saturday, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the earliest
Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
you'd have a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and game 3 would be if necessary on Sunday. And if there is no if necessary game, everybody can go home on Sunday.
And maybe that's their deal. Maybe Monday is easier to fill if there's not a game 3.
Yeah,
than
perhaps
Sunday.
that's probably true. Anyway, I
Yeah,
don't
right
care.
now,
It doesn't matter.
Again, right now, Oklahoma looking pretty good for that championship series. 4-0 in the
Bottom of the 5th.
bottom of the 5th.
Mhm.
So
Been there before.
that's bottom of a 5th.
No, same difference. Same thing, different shapes. No, I had a friend who's an Oklahoma fan, so take this as you will. But had a friend who said the entire from day one when they announced the national seeds, they said the wrong Oklahoma team got a national seed.
Talking
And
about Oklahoma State.
boy, if they weren't right. I mean, this is the all-time I told you so moment, right?
Kudos to him.
He was like, the wrong Oklahoma team got the national seed.
And everybody's been paying for it ever since. Starting with Florida and Gainesville.
Chips on shoulders and all that comes with it. Oklahoma has, again, run roughshod through this entire tournament, starting down in Gainesville, and has not stopped yet. They said, SEC, SMEC. We'll beat them all.
It's like we ain't
Line
there.
them up.
We ain't there yet.
Line them up.
Yeah. So
Mow them down, baby.
and then in the other one, Ole Miss and Arkansas tonight.
Ole Miss, Arkansas, playing tonight, and Arkansas has run through some arms as well. That's the one thing, you can't count Arkansas out because they can hit.
Because they're Arkansas.
They can hit with anybody, but man.
And, for all the talk of, how tested Notre Dame was coming into this postseason and what they did and that kind of thing, this is an Arkansas team with a little bit of a chip on their shoulder as the national #1 seed last year that didn't get there. So they've kind of experienced some adversity, and I'm sure that they've got some demons that they would like to exercise as well.
And let's be honest, it's Arkansas Ole Miss. It ain't like there's any love lost between these two teams.
No.
And, again, Ole Miss, after having to watch the parade come right through Oxford to Starkville last year, certainly would like to have their own parade at some point. So can the Rebs keep the Magnolia State front and center?
Wouldn't that be something if Ole Miss and Mississippi State won national baseball championships back to back?
I mean, it could happen. It very well could happen. So this has been an entertaining series, World Series, just because of if nothing else, the SEC storylines.
Sure.
I mean, if there had been 2 SEC teams here and they both got eliminated, I probably wouldn't think this was very entertaining. But since I, know who these teams are, if we were talking about Notre Dame and Oregon State today, I'd be like, meh, whatever. But we're talking Ole
Thank
Miss,
goodness
Arkansas.
we're not.
We're talking Ole Miss, Arkansas here.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a great one. It's going to be a lot of fun. 6 o'clock tonight on ESPN. Oklahoma still rolling.
Mhm.
So looking like they're going to make their way to that Saturday series opener. So when we come back, we'll take a quick break, halftime right here on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Ball and Joint. Come back after this.
The city famous for its music is quiet now, but it's about to be overwhelmed by the symphony of speed. Nashville Superspeedway will be rocking from the pit to the grandstand. June 24th through 26th, the Ally 400 NASCAR Cup Series race weekend brings a mix of incredible racing and live entertainment. Tickets are going fast, so visit NashvilleSuperspeedway.com today and join the full throttle fun.
Oh yeah. So normally we try to stay away from sports here, but did you see that Ohio State has now trademarked the word "the"?
No, I missed
Surprised
that.
So Matt Brown, Extra Points, friend of the show. In order to fully execute on this ambitious plan to lower student debt burdens, Ohio State needs to get out there and trademark some other stuff. Make Oklahoma State and Oregon State write checks to use OSU. Trademark some vowels. Gotta find more revenue. And the guy says, now on Wheel of Fortune, when you buy a vowel, that money goes to Ohio State.
Well, you know, it wouldn't be OSU, it would be TOSU now.
That's right. So you got to be careful. If UCF gets to pretend they invented outer space, Ohio State gets to trademark "the." I mean, sue the Village people for using human bodies to make letters like they do with the O and the H. I mean, this is, how do you trademark a word?
Not just a word.
Were they successful? You said they were successful in this?
Yes.
Now, is it
What exactly does that mean?
is it the pronunciation of it? I mean, so if you said the, I mean, is it only when you use the hard E?
Okay.
What if you say the?
A really hard E.
Yeah. Draw it out.
A southern hard E.
Mm-hmm.
The.
From NBC4 in Columbus.
Is this April 1st or something? What's going on?
No, the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office approved Ohio State's application Tuesday by issuing a registration certificate. It allows Ohio State to control the use of "the" on clothing, namely T-shirts, ball caps, and hats. All of the foregoing being promoted, distributed, and sold through channels customary on the field of sports and collegiate athletics. In other words,
What is the practicality of this? And I would love to talk to Matt or our guy Mitt or someone like that as to how this applies to anything of any importance.
In other words, only Ohio State can have sports apparel with the word "the" on it.
Who else would want to? I mean, I've never heard the Oregon State as JP was saying.
The Vanderbilt. No, there is no the. Are there others that try to use that?
I don't know.
I mean, are they feeling violated by that or something?
I think they solved a problem that doesn't exist.
They were the solution and searching for a problem.
Looking for a problem, yeah.
It's interesting to say the least, but yeah, they actually.
So no one else can use the.
They just wanted proof that they are the Ohio State University. They have proof now, I guess.
Well, I mean, is there someone else in Ohio challenging their status as
the ones in
the Ohio State University?
T-Son was probably using it in some way. That school up north. They were probably using it in a degrading way, and now they cannot do that without paying Ohio State some money. If I had to guess, I don't know that. But
suddenly it makes a little bit more sense.
It all comes down to a rivalry.
It didn't have anything to do with anybody in Ohio.
Yeah, it was a little farther north. That was the problem.
Oh man.
There you go. All right, let's take another quick break. When we come back, it's the second half of Main Street Sports Day presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Stick around. This is Chris Yao with Main Street Sports Today. Every show, Mo Patton and I welcome friends from all across the sports landscape, from high school coaches and reporters to national, college, and pro sports personalities. You never know who might stop by for a chat. AP Tennessee Sports Editor, three-time Tennessee Sports Writer of the Year 2020 TSWA Hall of Famer. She covers the Titans, the Predators, the Grizzlies, college football, and hoops. Please make welcome Teresa Walker.
Former University of Tennessee, former Team USA Olympian, ex-Cy Young Award winner, R.A. Dickey. R.A., did I miss anything?
Man, that was sweet. Yeah, I need to listen to that before I go to bed every night. That was nice.
Has 5 sports Emmys. That's not bad for the other guy in Wham, Ryan McGee.
Other guy Wham married the best looking girl Bananarama, so other guy Wham had a pretty good life.
From preps to pros, we're taking on the sports topics you care about. Tune in across Main Street Media social platforms at 2 p.m. or on demand on your podcast distribution platform of choice.
We made it the second half here at Main Street Sports Today. Coming up, we'll be joined by Jerry Jones, New Columbia Academy basketball coach. He'll stop by via video and hang out with us. Wild and Wacky Wednesday. So stay tuned for that. And always, every day during the baseball season, it is our daily Braves segment this day in Braves history. And there's going to be some familiar names. Throwback Wednesday on this one. I like it, Mo. I'm looking forward to this one. Here, Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Back over to the Hall of Famer Mo Patton and the Sundrop Kid from Alabama, Chris Yao.
Welcome back in. Main Street Sports Today is presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint each and every day. Thank you to the folks there. Mo, Braves went from pitching duel to home run derby last night, and seemed like every time the Giants got a little run, the Braves clawed back. And if not for unfortunate situations in the ninth inning, had a chance to win it again, and would have had they not given up any runs in the ninth, but they did, and lose 12-10. But tough night for Spencer Strider and Darren O'Day.
Tough night. Yeah. I mean, it was just a tough night on the mound as a whole. I mean, Strider gives up 6 earned in 3 2/3, his worst start of the year, obviously. And then you get 1 2/3 scoreless out of Dylan Lee, and you replace him with Darren O'Day, who doesn't get an out. And then Colin McHugh is just as bad. And then you probably overextended Jackson Stevens.
Yeah, he Stevens had a great 8th inning. And here's the thing. It walked the first batter of the ninth, gave up a single, and then
should have been gone.
Yes. But got the ground ball he needed. And
tough situation.
Got the ground ball he needed. Riley makes a heck of a play to stop the ball from being a double, and then ends up being a double anyway because
he
as he's getting up after making a fantastic play, the ball, his foot hits his glove, kicks it towards the dugout, and then he dives on the dugout steps trying to save it from getting that extra base, but could not do so. And second, third, you put Jock Peterson on, and
Jock Peterson, who homered earlier in the night because you knew he was going to.
Absolutely. And I wasn't mad at him.
Right.
But, the ninth inning was just kind of weird in general. And what got me was they get the first out with nobody scoring, right? And instead of playing your middle infield at double play depth, they play halfway in and ground ball to shortstop. If they're playing at double play depth, Dansby probably makes the play double play ball. You're in the ninth, you're in the bottom of the ninth, and you've got no runs that have crossed the plate.
Right.
That's what's so crazy. I don't understand how that happened. Now, I'm not in the post game press conference. It's a question I would have asked had I been, but it's just weird how sometimes there are little things in baseball that you go and you say, well, why were we doing this? And that's one of those things. But in a 12-10 ball game, what are you going to do?
Yeah, I mean, it was wild from the get. San Francisco scored 4 in the top of the first.
Yeah.
And the Braves overcame that, and it was just, the classic seesaw all night.
Literally, it was every time the Giants made a move, it was the Braves next.
You got a 2-homer night from Matt Olson.
Ronnie broke out of his slump.
Yeah.
And usually does in a big way had the homer, 2 singles. Of course, The eighth inning was unfortunate.
It was unfortunate. I would like to have seen him see more pitches in that at bat.
Yeah, not jump on the first one for a ground ball to shortstop. It's like, they just had a mound meeting, man. But he knew he was going to throw a strike. You know, after a meeting like that, you got to get up there. You feel like you're going to get a strike, and you feel like it's going to be a fastball. And he got it. He just missed it.
Yeah.
And that's okay. That's going to happen.
Well, I mean, it happens. I mean, you just kind of got to write it off a little bit. But that would have been one that would have been nice to have. It would have been nice to have picked up a win despite Strider not throwing great. You know, I don't think they've won a game in which they've trailed by more than 3 runs, I think was what they said on the air last night.
Yeah.
So, again, overcame a 4-run deficit early, just couldn't hang on.
Did you know that the Braves in their last 30 games against the Giants are 22-8, going back to 18?
Did not know it. Does not surprise me. I mean, this
reason,
this team typically plays pretty well against good teams,
and they played well again last night. Again, bats started rolling. You gotta think that once this lineup gets it all put together, and they almost seem to have it all put together at this point, it's going to be scary.
Well, and still, again, Eddie Rosario still coming. You know, eventually you're going to get Ozzie back, but I think Arcia's doing a fine job in Albie's place.
You get Maple Maddox at some point?
Who?
Maple Maddox. The Canadian? No?
Who?
He's not big. Maple Maddox.
I have no idea who you're talking about.
Our pitcher.
Oh, Maple Maddox.
Now you get it.
I'd never heard Soroka referred to like that. But yeah,
he went a long way for that one, like the distance between Bristol and Canada.
Yeah, but that
still closer than Memphis.
It is. Well done.
You like what this team has the potential to become, but you also like what they are right now.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, and nobody's going to go undefeated. And it's kind of tough watching Braves Twitter after they lose a ball game. But
no, it's not. It's entertaining.
It gets a little bothersome sometimes. It's because it's the same stuff
every time.
Yeah. But, hope springs eternal. We've got another one tonight.
Charlie.
Yeah, coming off of his best start of the year. Carlos Rodon going for the Giants, so should be interesting. This day in Braves history. June 22nd, 1997, 4 home runs and a 9-run third inning powered the Braves to a 12-5 win at Philadelphia. Chipper Jones, Fred McGriff, Michael Tucker, and Jeff Blauser each went yard in Atlanta's biggest inning since 1989 as the Braves dealt the Phillies their 8th straight loss. That's always fun.
Love to beat the Phils.
No doubt.
Love to beat the Phils. All right, let's take a quick break. When we come back, we have new Columbia Academy basketball.
I need to interrupt you real quick because I was scrolling through Twitter as we are wont to do. Chelsea Freeman, familiar name. First time back to Atlanta in 8 months. I love this city so much. It truly is so special. I cannot stop crying. There's not enough words to express my gratitude for all of the amazing memories here. With a little heart shape. Stop. Look, you're not a Brave anymore.
But Chelsea's from Florida. Chelsea wanted to be here. Way more than anybody else, I think.
Well, apparently the if mama ain't happy, ain't nobody happy doesn't apply in the Freeman household.
So. She ain't the one making $80 million.
There you go.
So there's that.
Or double that.
Y'all stick around. We'll be back after this with Jared Jones. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, zioneagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's zioneagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck yes, that'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Tennessee, because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net. Welcome back in Main Street Sports today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint. Chris Yao, Mo Patton, JP Plant, as you see there on your screen. We were talking a little off the air about some crazy basketball moves, but now we get a chance to, and we will get to it because they're Master P's sons, not just one, but both of them, are on the move. So
not to the same place.
No. The reason I thought that the younger one is committed to Houston. That's where I got mixed up. But neither here nor there at this point, because we got to get to some local high school hoops, and that is not newly named, but recently named Columbia Academy basketball coach JARRETT Jones, who is joining us via video after we were told he wasn't. So it's good to see you, Coach. What's up?
I'm good. Appreciate you guys having me on. Yes, I've been ripping and running around, so I didn't know if I was going to be able to get here in front of a screen or not. So I didn't want to have to do it on the phone, but I appreciate you guys making time for me and getting me in.
No, we appreciate you coming on with us. So you managed to get that haircut, huh?
Yeah. So my barber was running a little late today. I go to Franklin to get my hair cut, and then I had to drive back home here to Columbia, and he was running a little bit late, so he was messing up my schedule.
We'll have to compare notes. I wonder if your barber and my barber are the same barber, but we'll because I live in Franklin and I get mine cut in Franklin. But
okay.
He ain't paying for advertising, so we can't talk about him on that.
Right. No, we don't. I had to give me the shout outs. I've already paid him, so yeah. So we don't have to give him any shout outs today.
Man, it's been a hectic summer for you as you transition from independent to the boys basketball coaching and high school assistant principal role at Columbia Academy, in addition to taking these guys to camps and play days and that kind of thing. You're also working on your doctorate.
Don't remind me, man. As soon as I get off with you, I'm about to have to crack a book open and get a couple things done. Yeah, it's been a very busy June. Very busy June for me. But I'm excited. I got a good group of guys to work with, man. We've had a very, very busy summer, but it's been a productive one. Just getting to know them, getting to watch them play, try to coach them a little bit. I think I'm probably doing more learning than I am coaching right now. Got a very talented group, and man, I'm excited. I'm ready to get June out of the way and over with classes, and just kind of I'm getting adjusted, get my office and everything set up, and then ready to really focus and buckle down on what's in front of us and get ready for the season.
I'm sure you had a little familiarity with this team because I know you're really close friends with the athletics director at Columbia Academy, Pernell Knox. You guys have Freed Hardman in your background, in your history, but were you surprised at just how talented this team is?
Yes. I can't even hide that. Having conversations with a lot of people before accepting the job, with Pernell and just other people who are in basketball circle here in the local area. Just having them around, they were telling me, man, it's a good group, Jarrett. It's a good group. But after that first day of practice, we've only gotten to practice 3 times, by the way. But after that first day of practice, and I got to see them get up and down the court and see them move around, I realized, like, yes, they're as good as advertised. Coach Marty left. He left a little meat on the bone. I didn't know. When people leave after being places for a while, you kind of assume maybe he knows something I don't know. Maybe he knows some other people don't know. No, he left me in great hands, great shape, and I'm excited to get with these guys.
That's one of the things that I was going to mention is what is it like stepping into a situation like this? Because typically when a new coach is hired, more times than not, they're stepping into a situation where they're coming off of a few poor seasons. Well, you're not. You're coming into a situation where this team has some great young talent. They've had success in recent years, and you get a chance to kind of continue the tradition that Columbia Academy has put forth in the recent years.
Oh yeah, Coach Marty's done a great job. Coach D, he built a really good program here. I left a lot of time around, left a lot of time in the gym, and that's exciting. Great support from parents and community, and that makes it a lot easier. I've been in these shoes before, where I took over after a very successful coach at a very successful program in Jackson at Liberty Tech. And at that point, I was a young man whose eyes were wide open, and I had no idea what I was really getting into, and had some success there. This time coming in, he's still on the campus, and I tell him all the time, don't feel like you have to hide from this gym. This is your gym, and I want you to come around. And I have no problem. My ego is not too big for if you see something and you say, Jared, I think this might work. You might want to run this or something like that. I'm open for that conversation. He's had success for a reason, and I would be an idiot to shut him out of that gym. So I want him to be around, and I want him to help show me the ropes. But it's a new voice. These guys know how to play. I'm just coming in with a new voice, different energy. A different energy, not different, not better, not worse, hopefully, but just a different energy, and hopefully the guys will continue to respond to the changes we're trying to make.
Jarrett Jones, the boys basketball coach at Columbia Academy, joining us here on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Jarrett, you mentioned that you guys have only practiced 3 times. I would imagine that's because you've been to some play days. I know you guys went over to Harding University over in Arkansas and played some games. You've only practiced 3 days, but it's not like you guys haven't been doing anything.
Oh, no. We've been very busy. We got to get 2 practices in after Memorial Day. We got 2 practices in. Then we went to Arkansas, and I didn't even know all the guys' names yet when we played our first game. So I think they were a little confused at me yelling at some of the wrong guys. But other than that, we played well, and we played over 30 games so far between varsity and JV guys, and we've had the opportunity just to get after it, just to compete. We haven't had a chance to really put in a lot of offensive things, but we really focused on just defensive principles, man-to-man principles, that things that I like to do on the defensive end. And honestly, we've been talking a lot about body language, positive energy, and just continue to compete and being good teammates. There's so much talent in the gym. I tell people we can score on accident. I can draw some plays, but it doesn't matter. We can accidentally score. We just want to hone in on those defensive principles. So right now, and then just be the best teammates we can be, have the best energy we can have, and really focus a lot on just our body language and the way we carry ourselves on the court.
You know, it's interesting that you say we can score on accident, because with that team, if you're playing defense, if you're getting out in passing lanes and that kind of thing, creating opportunities at the other end, you can score in transition with the bunch and score a lot.
Right, and they've seen that in a lot of tough games where with defensively they got after it. I tell them I want us to dominate teams on the defensive end, and they're trying to buy into that. They really are. They've been competing for me, competing for each other on the defensive end. Really learning how to communicate, how to take care of each other, and really be connected as five guys. And that leads to a lot of easy looks on the other end. When you suffocate a team on defense, it wears them down. And it's led to a lot of transition, a lot of just rebound outlets, let's go, and not even have to run offense. And so that's been really good to see.
And if you can get them to buy into that defense, they like running anyway.
Yes, they want to run. They want to run. It's a very good group. I got, Dre McClellan. He's been starting at point guard for us, and he's done a great job getting used to me. I'm a little tough on my point guards, and I tell the guys he has a load to carry that you guys don't have to carry. I fuss at everyone, but he gets the brunt of it when things go wrong. So he's had to adjust to that this summer and adjust to me. But we have Griff Cooper, who's a state high jump champion, 6'8" athlete, who's going to be really fun to watch. And he's surrounded with some shooters and some more athletes with, Gabe Davenport, man, that kid. I tell you what, Gabe, I've told them, I've tried to hammer into him that, we got to get to the rim. We got to finish at the rim. And everyone told me how good of a shooter Gabe was. And he would jack up a three and I'd roll my eyes or I'd make a sound and it would go in. So he's made a believer out of me. He has made a believer out of me that he is a really good shooter. So now what the conversation went from, man, we can get that shot anytime. I said, early on, I was like, Gabe, hey, you don't have to settle for that. We can get that shot anytime. To now it's like, let it go, man.
It's not
let
settling
it go.
when it's
it's not settling.
Yeah,
man, it's not. Hey, let that thing go is kind of the new phrase with Gabe, man. He's made a believer out of me.
So everybody else has to get to the rim except Gabe then, right?
Right. Yes. Just if you have room, let that thing go. We'll try to get an offensive rebound if you miss it. But I tell you, it's opened up his ability to get to the rim. He has a good handle. He's a scrappy guy, man. He's a scrappy young man. And he's figuring it out, and he's kind of been our little spark this summer.
Your coaching career has been spent in the public school sector, Liberty Tech, where you won a state championship your first year, Antioch, Independence, Fairview. What do you anticipate the transition from public school to private school being like, or do you expect it to be any different at all?
Not really. I'm not expecting a big difference, to be honest with you. I think really coming from Williamson County schools, we have a lot of active vocal parents with high expectations for their kids on and off the court. I've been blessed to be in situations everywhere I've been where I've had a lot of community support and really good parents who just want the best for their kids. Whether it's public or private, that's what everybody wants. They want their kids to have an opportunity to be successful. And that's what everyone wants at Columbia Academy. Everyone, it's been great so far, getting to meet everyone, meet all the parents. They've been very supportive, very active, coming out and asking me what we need. Coach, we can do this, we can do that. What do you need us to do? But kids are kids wherever we go. So we interact, build relationships the same way I always have. But it hasn't really been a major transition yet. It's always a transition when you go to a new school, just learning the systems and the people. But other than that, it's been a really good place to be so far. So I'm very excited about it.
Jarrett Jones here with us on Main Street Sports today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Coach, this is that time of year where it gets a little mundane and boring for us, but it's never more mundane and boring for you guys because you do get a chance to do some play dates and things like that. What do you have the rest of the summer coming up if if folks want to come out and see what you've got going?
Well, unfortunately, it's the end for us. Tomorrow is our last
after
day.
dead period.
Yeah, tomorrow's our last day to compete against other schools. But we ran a gauntlet this year. We went to Harding and played some pretty good talent there, pretty good teams. Went undefeated there, 10-0, but competed against some really good competition. But it was a great chance for us to grow and get to know each other. And then we've done some local play days at Independence, and we've been at Summit. We'll finish up at Summit tomorrow. And we also got to go to BCAT, which is the first live event where college coaches can come and have interactions with guys and see guys and evaluate.
Now, you had a really good week out at Memphis.
We did, man. We played again. We played some stiff competition, but the guys, man, they responded well. They played well. The worst game we played, we wound up getting beat by 2 to a Dyer County team that's a 4A school. That's they've had a good tradition there, and they compete. They get after. They play hard, but really, we didn't play well. Just be honest with you, we didn't play well, guys. You could see our energy change when it got a little tougher, and that's one of those things we got to work through. It wasn't not to sound disrespectful to Dyer County. We beat ourselves. We really did, and that's frustrating, but also a great situation to be in when you know that when you step on the court, you have the ability to beat any team you play,
including yourself.
Including ourselves. So we beat ourselves that day. We made a very simple game a little more complex, and then we didn't handle it. I feel like the way we needed to mentally. So those are things we're going to work on. When you deal with young men, those are kind of the ebbs and flows of it. So we'll get there and build that consistency, and just look forward to continue to compete with them.
What time tomorrow at Summit?
2 and 3 for varsity. We play Summit.
Of course.
Summit, right?
Yeah.
And of course, with my crazy schedule, I actually won't even be there tomorrow, so they're on their own.
Wow.
So I told the guys I'll see them in July. In July we'll get back together a couple days a week and start doing some individual work. But yeah, they're going to finish up without me. I told them, I better get great text messages from the assistant coaches, or we can come back and run in July. We'll start it off. But no, we'll finish it up. And the guys, man, they've had a good summer. I hope that mentally they can hang in there for tomorrow and just grind out 2 more wins and get ready to go in July. We actually probably need a break from each other. The dead period couldn't get. It's a great time to get here. I think it'll be good for us to just kind of regroup and reset mentally and come back in July and start getting that ball rolling again.
All right. Jarrett Jones, boys basketball coach at Columbia Academy, joining us here on Main Street Sports today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Coach, appreciate your time. Crack those books.
Thank you, guys. Hey, anytime, let me know. I love seeing myself on the screen, so you can just have me on anytime.
We love seeing you as well, man. We'll catch up with you soon.
All right, appreciate it, guys.
All right, when we come back, it's Wild and Wacky Wednesday, the weirdest and wildest news from across the world, coming at you on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Stick around. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Hey folks, While we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck yes, that'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Tennessee, because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Maury County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net. Welcome back in. Main Street Sports Day presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint. It is a wild and wacky Wednesday with the weirdest and wildest news from across the world. But first, as I mentioned, we'll go to you first. We cut a little bit of breaking news in the sports world, unfortunately.
Unfortunately. Tony Siragusa, who was a member of the Baltimore Ravens 2000 Super Bowl championship team, died earlier today at the age of 55. No cause of death. Believe he died in his sleep. Played for the Colts from 1990 until 97 before he signed with the Ravens and kind of anchored that defensive front ahead of Ray Lewis and others. 22 sacks, 564 total tackles for his career, and then kind of made another career for himself as a sideline reporter for Fox's NFL broadcasts, and been a pretty sad period, a pretty sad 24 or so hours for the Ravens, who yesterday lost outside linebacker Jalen Ferguson at the age of 26. So tough time, obviously, but saw something on Twitter about Goose and thought that it warranted mentioning here. So,
as I mentioned at the beginning of the last segment, Hersey Miller's youngest son, Mercy Miller.
No, wait a minute. Percy Miller's youngest son, Mercy Miller.
That's right. Hersey is Hersey's brother. He's just going through the alphabet. HIJKLM. So I guess the next one is like O.
Hopefully he's done.
Or S. Cersei.
Stop.
Just
stop.
I can't wait for Xerxes. Anyway, Mercy has committed to Houston, which is where I got Houston earlier. But he's transferred to play his final high school season to Oak Hill, Virginia, where he will play with 5 other D1 commits, 3 stars or higher.
Where they will not play for Steve Smith, who I think retired earlier this year after a lengthy career up at Oak Hill.
Yeah, so should be a interesting there. But Hersey has made his way back south a little bit,
kind of
southwest-ish. Yeah, just cross the river. Yeah. From Cincinnati to Louisville, where he'll play.
Presumably,
he'll walk on. Presumably will play for the Cardinals after leaving Tennessee State after a year, claiming that they didn't have enough
athletic trainers
or a good enough athletic training staff. One would think that, maybe if Dion can do it, maybe, other folks should think about investing. We don't have enough staff here. Well, instead of leaving, why don't you help us out?
Yeah.
I mean, donations, baby. It happens. It happens all the time. Anyway,
yeah.
But yeah, so transferring, a lot of movement in the Miller family. They should just get an RV, and yeah, and they should make a movie about it. They'll call it "We're the Millers," and there you go. JP, can I get some music? There we go. Bob Salem. Pretty nutty guy, because he has decided to push a peanut up Pikes Peak with his nose. July 9th, he intends to reach the 14,115-foot summit on his hands and knees by July 17th while pushing a peanut up.
So he anticipates this taking 8 days?
Yes.
Really? Is this already in the Guinness Book of World Records?
That's a good question.
Because, I'm always fascinated how people actually come up with the events or the parameters to actually hold a record.
Well, this particularly has been done 3 times previously.
That was where I was getting. Has this been done before?
In 1929, a Texan by the name of Bill Williams became the first after making a $500 bet with his friends. In 1929, $500 right before
a lot of money.
I'm curious if it was pre-crash or post-crash.
Good question.
Where he got this $500.
Question.
And he and the Peanut summited America's Mountain in 22 days. The record fell in 1963 when 21-year-old rock and roll musician named Ulysses Baxter made the push in just 8 days. He enlisted the help of a large wooden salad spoon to which he taped to his nose, and a newspaper photo was taken as he got close to the summit. And so there you go.
I would think a wooden spoon taped to your nose is cheating. I think you got to do it with your nose. I mean, you could swat it with a wooden spoon.
It's got to be difficult to do. I mean, think about you're pushing a peanut up the mountain. That
with your nose.
That can't be easy. How big is this peanut?
How big is his nose?
How flat is his nose? Only a flat-nosed guy can do this.
These are key questions we need answers to.
I want to see what his nose looks like after this.
That's yeah. How big is those?
Very red.
Yeah.
Very red.
Very red.
I'm assuming they stop. I mean, when he's tired or hungry or needs to eat, you just time out, and you pause, and somebody holds the peanut. Draws like a little chalk in the mouth.
Yeah, they use a
marker.
A ball marker.
Yeah.
A ball marker.
Here's where the peanut was.
Yeah. You'll just pick up right here whenever you're ready.
Whenever your nose isn't sore.
Yeah.
More.
It'd be my back and my knees that would be sore.
Yeah, not my nose.
It'd be interesting to see how he's padded up.
Yeah.
To do this.
Is he doing this on a road?
No, he's doing it on
Pikes Peak.
Pikes Peak.
Jeez.
On a mountain.
Just the side of a mountain.
I don't know how. I'm sure there's a trail.
Maybe there's a path or
something. There's got to be something like that, right?
Yeah, it's got to be flat. You can't just push it up anyway.
No.
Well, it's not going to be too flat. I mean, if you're going.
Yeah, but I mean that I don't know. Do you guys like ramen noodles?
I did in college, sure. No, I like ramen noodles are very good.
I've never had ramen noodles.
That's insane. A judge in
I had lots of Hamburger Helper when I was in school, but I never had ramen noodles.
I don't like Hamburger Helper. A judge in India said a man divorced his wife for cooking him instant noodles every day. I don't like them that much. I'd probably have a similar reaction.
Get a divorce too.
You got different flavors of them though.
Creamy
Mix it
chicken is the best.
Yeah.
Creamy chicken.
How do you not like Hamburger Helper?
Because I had too much of it. Looks like dog food.
Oh.
Tell me I'm wrong. Point to the lie.
Oh.
Anyway.
Close us out.
We'll be back tomorrow at 2 o'clock. As always, we have Drew Hill of the Daily Memphian. We'll talk a little NBA draft, and we'll get with Metro Nashville Athletics Director Mark North to talk about their recent partnership with Tennessee Titans for girls flag football. So come back with us. We'll be here 2 o'clock on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. For JPMO, I'm Chris Yousing. Have a great day. See you then.